Introducing the JK Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of the JK Podcast. We are here again, and I'm excited because we have a ton of episodes coming, like a ton. Like, you guys aren't even ready. We have a ton planned. So, I'm here with Danny, my co-host, and Danny, how are you doing today, man?
Doing great, bro. Just came back from work. Got a last minute sale which I really needed for work. So
Oh,
I'm a
nice.
leasing agent. So I just got somebody. They don't know it yet, but they got approved. So they got approved. I didn't let them know because I had a. It was already after hours, and my manager was like, "Let's wrap it up. We gotta go home. I want to go home." I'm like, "Yep." It's like, "All right, I'll let y'all know tomorrow." But I checked it real quick. They got approved, so I'm happy on that. Left on a good note.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm excited because for many people, because a lot of our audience is like my age, around my age, 20s and teenage years. I'm coming up
Mhm.
to summer. Many of us are coming up to summer, and everyone is like excited to have that freedom from school and all this other stuff. Maybe get a summer job. Some people are going to be more focused on projects of theirs. So I'm excited because, like I said, tons of episodes coming out because I'm gonna have so much more time. And I think I've talked with a lot of people, and they say that they have all these summer plans, traveling and doing all this. And it kind of made me realize that once we get a break from that like school system, or kind of get away from that thing that is holding us back a ton, we have so much more freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have so much more freedom now.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. As soon as I graduated high school, which is honestly not that long ago, I graduated 2020. So COVID graduation is what I had. I didn't even get to walk, so
Mm,
I didn't get to do any of that cool stuff.
damn, that
But
sucks.
anyways, yeah, like soon as I it was kind of a little weird to take it in because I'm like, dang, dude, I don't gotta go to school no more. Like I'm
Yeah.
officially like an adult kind of, but at the same time I still had that longer break because of COVID.
Mm,
So I was really just like chilling at home, and then I was like, dang, I gotta find a job now.
yeah.
But yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do right now. I'm 9 to 5, which is really great. I mean, there's just a lot of things I can do. There's a gym like literally right around the corner where I live, so I just go there. I try to go every single day, if not at least 4 times a week for sure. And then try to get in. I'm just noticing that I can just do a lot more stuff. I was away from video games. I was doing a lot of Muay Thai Jiu Jitsu. So I don't know if you gotten into that, but that's a cool, fun thing to do. I want to say during the summer because it kind of helps you with like discipline and stuff like that. And it's honestly really fun. And I have a pretty cool little story. So at my old gym, because I moved from California to Texas. In California, shout out to Rounders MMA over there in Orange County, in Santa Ana. So they posted this really cool video. It's like this little like they whenever they get like a bunch of new students, the coach, the sensei, he always does like this little joke, and he basically did this little joke where he was trying to teach most of the new people who come in that they all think it's about strength and size, but really it really has nothing to do with it if you know how to fight. Like, I'm not that tall, and I'm like 5'7", 5'8", and I was sparring against people that are like 6'3", and they just came in and they really thought they were just gonna throw, swing, and just put power. But when they see that I know how to dodge, I know how to block, and I know how to throw a jab, and once they feel it, they're like, oh, okay. They're like, at that point, that's when they know that size don't matter.
Mm,
So what he did is he did this really cool thing. He was basically saying, hey, it doesn't matter how big or strong you are. Then like I don't know where a bodybuilder comes in, and he said, dude, it's like it's all about muscle, it's all about this. So he's like he's literally like huge. He's like huge. I don't know how big how he was, but I want to say he's at least over 6'2", and he's like super buff, big muscles. He comes in and he tries to take him down. He takes him down, but he gets him into a hold called a choke hold. Then out of nowhere, he picks him up. He tries to slam him, but I don't know how to really explain it. His leg wraps around the back of his leg so that he doesn't fall fully, and he brings all his weight down, and he has his head right here under, and he just has it squeezed, and then he lets him go, and he's like, I'm telling you, bro, it's not all about strength. Stop using your strength. He comes in, does it again. He then gets him into like an arm bar. So he tries to get him. He tries to tackle him down, gets him in an arm bar, and he's like, I told you, it's not all about strength. And it just goes to show. So then he goes up against one of the females, and the female makes him look like shit. Like she started to, and she's a purple belt. So purple belt is like the third highest rank you can get in jiu-jitsu. It's purple belt, brown belt, then black belt. And she just he just twisted him and places he didn't even know, existed. So it was super funny to see that, and that just goes to show that no matter how big you are, if you go up against someone that knows how to fight, like just know
Oh,
that
it's over.
you can condition as much as you want. There's one thing you can't condition is that you getting hit,
Oh yeah.
you getting knocked out on the chin. So doesn't matter anybody that's big. If you get punched hard enough, you can get knocked out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the amount of training that people can have, and no matter how small they are, no matter like their frame, like if the person's experienced and has the knowledge of it, like you're gonna get like whipped, bro. It's not even worth it. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna get messed up, and that's totally true. Like a lot of people, think like, oh, I'm 6'4". Oh, I weigh 225 pure muscle. I can beat anyone in a fight. Sure, if they're unexperienced, like if the person like
right.
has never fought before and you're going against them, yeah, you're probably gonna win. But like if you're going against someone that has experience and has actually learned it, like there's nothing, there's no way you can beat that. And this actually connects to something that a lot of people I've seen on social media. A lot of people have said this is that you know the people that have like talent. Let's say someone's like incredibly smart but they're lazy. If someone's like incredibly smart but they're lazy, but you are not incredibly smart, you're not a genius like them, but you're not lazy. You can actually like do the work. That person
Yeah.
that is actually consistent and actually doing the work is going to beat them 9 times out of 10. And that's something that a lot of people have to realize is that you can have all these smarts, you can have all these gifts, all these talents, but if you're not able to do the work, if you're lazy with it, there's no point in having it because that person that is actually willing to do the work will beat you.
Yeah, that's true. That is super true. And I know a lot of people. I've known. I can even include myself sometimes. Because I feel like I know how to do some things, but I honestly I feel like I'm the type of guy. I'm the type of guy that's like, if I'm not interested, I'm not gonna do it.
Mm,
Like, or if I don't have to do it, I won't do it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But as soon as it's like, because I remember I was lagging on my expired license plates. So I was literally driving for, I want to say, like a good solid month and a half with expired license plates. And now I know if you're like driving and you get pulled over, yeah, I'm gonna get a ticket. But I didn't know if I was just because I just moved to Texas, so I guess it's Texas law if like if they can run your plates even if you're parked, even if like there's no one in there, even if you know you're in a parking lot or something like that. If the cop chooses to scan your license plates, or if he sees a tag that's expired, he can give you a ticket even if you're parked. In
Wow.
California, they don't. Yeah, in California, it's not like that. You can be parked and have that car expired for who knows how many years, and they won't give you a ticket as long as it's parked. But if it's like out on the road, then they'll give you a ticket. So I was super lazy about it, and dude, I got it done pretty quick. Like I got it. I just took a day off. Got up early in the morning, just did that, and it was pretty quick. And I thought it was gonna be like a 3 hour wait type of thing that
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there all day, because that's basically what I hear from my parents when they go to the DMV or something like that. When I was younger, they were like, "Oh, dude, I've been in the line for like 2 hours," or like they didn't get this right, they didn't get that right. So in my mind, I'm like, "Dang, I'm just gonna go through all that stress. Like I don't want to do that." But went in and out super quick. So yeah, like usually sometimes procrastinating, or just being lazy, or not being able to do it. But then once you actually do it, could turn out a little differently. So yeah.
Yeah. Procrastination is like really, really like detrimental. It can hold you back a ton. Like this is something that with me, I've experienced the same thing. I think every single person has experienced, some event or something that involved them procrastinating before they had to do it. And this was with me with recently I had to take my AP tests. And I didn't study as much. I actually, I went out of town for a little bit right before my tests. And I was like, damn, like I could have studied way more, and I just procrastinated till the very last day to actually get some study to take that test. And I don't really know how I feel about it. I might have done okay. I haven't got my results back yet, but the thing is, like, a lot of us procrastinate, and everyone has that feeling. They hate that feeling of that where they have to cram everything in one day. It's not a good feeling. No one likes doing it, and your results are gonna show, your effort. But when people like shut off that procrastination and do it like early, like if you get homework and it's due in 2 weeks and you get it done the first day, look how much time you have. Look how much time you have to do anything else, to work on anything else. So the biggest way and one of the most like key ways to get rid of procrastination, and this is a way that I've kind of, fixed it somewhat, is to just tell yourself, let's just do it, let's just get it over with so we don't have to deal with it anymore. It's out of our brains. You don't have to think about it ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hey, I don't know if you ever have you ever seen what's it called? Oh dang, I watched it not that long ago. Have you ever heard that conspiracy theory with Hitler not actually being dead, and he goes to Argentina?
No.
He like lays low. Yeah, dude. There's like, and even there's some people who says that up in the mountains, there's like a village that speaks only German.
Hmm.
So they don't even speak, because the main language in Argentina is Spanish. And a little mountain and everything, and like a top of a mountain in Argentina. I forgot where, but there was a guy who went up there, and he was recording. I think it's already taken down, but I saw it on an article one time, and there he said that there was like a bunch of like literally every letter, like signs and everything like that, was in German.
Hmm.
They just had everything Germanized, and they had to like, and then there was a part where he couldn't get past. There was like a legit wall, like a full on, like state of the art wall, like metal and everything like that. And one of the guys told him, "Hey, you can't go past that." He
Hmm.
said, "Don't go past that." And so he's like, "Oh, okay." And he talked to him in Spanish, but there was an accent. You can hear the accent, and he was telling him, "Hey, don't go over there." And so he just turns back and goes. But it's weird, bro. Why is there like German signs
Yeah.
and like lookalikes? Like it's crazy. And then I also seen a show um, where it was like these people who survived the Holocaust, like the Jews, and there was like this group of Jews who go out and they start hunting down Nazis because some got away. Not all of them were. And the Nuremberg trials. I don't know if you've heard of the Nuremberg trials. So after the war, everything like that, it's pretty crazy. It's like they brought all the Nazi soldiers. They based it off of IQ. So if there was like a soldier who was just following orders, he didn't get his life sentence that much. But it also depends on his IQ. It's like, okay, well, it was wrong, and your IQ says it, and you know it's wrong. So because of that, you go, I don't know, 5 years in prison.
Hmm.
So they did that. Or if it was like a top officer, like an SS, and SS was like the guys who killed the Jews, who would do all this stuff like that, and they had medals for it and everything. They actually were sentenced to I don't know or how many years, but some of them got away, and then basically there was this grandma who was a survivor, and she said she went to one of her best friends who survived it with her, and she told him, and he was like, "Hey, I saw this man, the same guy who tortured us, in there buying a watermelon in the market."
Wow.
I was like, and I know a face when I see one. So it's a really cool, interesting show. I really liked it. I thought it was really dope. And at the end, it shows them finding Hitler in Argentina.
Hmm.
And when they took him to trial, it was super cool because when they took him to trial for his war crimes, they said, "Hey, did you kill this many amount of Jews?" And he said, "No." And then he said, "How?" And he's like, "Well, where's the proof?" And he was right. There's not a single document. There's not a single person alive to accuse him of it. And it was like kind of like a he's kind of right on the legally side, and he's kind of right on the and all that. And he's like, yeah, I was a political party member. I was like, but I never killed anyone. I never gave an order of such. I was like, if a soldier did that to me, well then I'll say that whoever is the president of Germany right now, they should handle his war crime during that time. I was like, but I didn't give such orders, and it hasn't been written. There isn't a document. There isn't a recording saying that I gave those orders.
Hmm. So
That was like crazy,
because no one was alive to like say that he did it.
right? So to me, that was
Oh.
like crazy, and it's
Hmm.
it's it's a super cool show. It's on Amazon Prime, so
Huh.
if you ever want to watch
I
it, or
might
if
have to
anybody wants
check
to,
that out. I'm not gonna say that he's alive because I don't know, but like conspiracy theory. Well, I'm not
yeah.
sure, but
Well, they never found his body.
yeah.
So when they pinned them down, I don't know if it was Berlin or Munich. When they pinned them down, supposedly the Russians said that he committed suicide with a grenade, but there's no body. And even if you blow yourself up with a grenade, there's bound to be some bones, something
Yeah,
around.
something. Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
so the fact that they say that there was nothing or there was ashes or stuff like that, that could have just been a setup and then they just got away. So you never really know, but it could. I mean, the fact that they even found Nazi, like literally a Nazi flag. It wasn't the same guy who went up there, but they found like Nazi crates and letters and documents. Literally had the Nazi symbol and everything. So
Wow.
um, like they're definitely, I wouldn't say Hitler, but I'm pretty sure some escaped to Argentina.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everyone that was fighting escaped everywhere or just kind of went anywhere they could. I'm sure Argentina might have been one of the places for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, so that to me was pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah, I'd have to watch that, investigate that more, research that more. Um, just to the audience, just so everyone knows. We're not saying Hitler's technically alive. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. I'm not sure.
It's,
I'd have
there's,
to
a
watch that.
chance, there's a chance, but I mean,
There's a
even if he were to come
small
back on,
chance.
I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's no way he's still alive during this
Yeah,
time
I
because
doubt that.
would be yeah,
Well,
there's
there's
no
no
way
way.
he
There's
would
no
have
way
had.
he's alive at this time because he would be dead. There's no way he'd be alive because
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
no
if he
way.
was alive, he would die from old age. I would think, unless he's like 110. But yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I see a lot of conspiracy theories like that. Like, everyone said that all these, criminals and stuff. You know, um, there's the guy who like stole a ton of money from the airplane and jumped out. I'm forgetting his name. Very
Oh
famous guy.
yeah.
That guy, got away with it. No one knows what happened to him, and everyone made all these conspiracy theories about him. Um, oh, and I wish I knew his name. I'm forgetting on it. I'm blanking completely on it. But yeah, there's a ton of information out there, and with that information, because me personally, I'm very I'm very like I double check everything. Like I'm not really biased when it comes to politics, for example. Like Republican, Democrat, I don't even associate myself with either side. I consider myself independent, like in the middle. Like I just take what I think from both sides and both opinions. But
Yeah.
I there's a lot of information out there nowadays, especially on the news, Fox News, CNN, all these other news sites, and on social media, on TikTok, and all these other social media platforms. There's so much information, and it can be really, really easy to, like just get dispersed and just not understand and just get the wrong info. And it's very common that that happens.
Hmm. Did you hear that there was this thing where all the news channels were saying the exact
I
same
saw
thing?
that. Yeah, that video is
That like
nuts.
and that's why I tell my mom, like don't believe anything that the news says
Yeah.
because they're only sharing a certain point of view. Same thing with
Yeah.
an article. Like the paparazzi, sometimes they lie for a story. They lie for
Oh yeah.
getting
They have to.
getting a little interesting story out of there. I remember really well during the COVID period. She everybody was when everybody was running out of toilet paper and stuff like that,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
going and they were buying a bunch of stuff and all like that. I told my mom, I'm all like, dude, there's no way that they'll run out of toilet paper. I was like, and then the news people just started saying, and I'm like, they're about to freak everyone out,
Mhm.
and they freaked everyone out, and they started to go and just buy or loot and stuff like that, all the toilet paper and stuff like that during COVID time. And there wasn't toilet paper for like I want to say for like a good month or two, and then afterwards, it just went back to normal as soon as everybody started to chill out and started buying like normal, just going with their face mask, doing the 6 feet apart and all that mumbo jumbo.
Mhm.
So once they started to see, okay, if we act cool, we'll be cool, not in panic. Um, what was another thing I was gonna say about the news things? Oh, did you hear the thing that's going on in Florida right now, where they passed the bill where all the anybody who has a business of 30 more employees have to verify that they are a U.S. citizen
Really?
for all businesses, construction, all of that. So
Wow.
a lot of the construction teams, landscapers, farmers, all those people that had a lot of the Hispanic community or immigrants, people who didn't have, aren't citizens.
Mm.
No one showed up to work,
Oh
so there was
wow.
absolutely nobody. So the economy in Florida right now is dropping.
Wow.
So yeah, because there's no workers, and now, which is funny. They're also doing these like memes, where a Hispanic versus the Hispanic versus whoever, white guy, whatever that they had. They were like versing, and you can see that how fast they were, doing the construction, and versus how fast the other new people were doing it, and they weren't doing it as fast. There was even a video where a whole house fell on top of the crew, which was
Oh,
crazy.
jeez.
Yeah. So, and then there was like a video too of them, doing the roofing, taking off the little sandpaper on top of the roof of the houses, and you just seen like one guy literally clear it in 30 minutes, and then there was like 12 guys just sitting down shoveling one by one of the little thing, like 12 guys, and they finished it within like 3 hours versus one guy that finished it in 30 minutes. So
Mm.
it's like, to me, I think you really need the immigrants as a backbone because they're the ones who really built built a lot of America today, like the infrastructure of New York, infrastructure of like any major metropolitan city, Los Angeles, over here in Texas, I know is big. But Florida is definitely going to hit it because there's a lot more of Hispanics over there, diverse, like Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Colombians,
Mhm.
Mexicans. You get a bunch of different people from a lot of different states over there too, and other countries that come down there. and their economy is going down. So it's crazy what's happening over there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult time we're in. I mean, we're so dependent, especially our country and many other countries are so dependent on the workforce, and I think society wants to make certain changes, certain, changes in, to help the environment and to help the economy and help social structure and stuff like that. And I think that's why I think that's like a really large reason why we see that, because I think, for that Florida example, when you look at Florida, where a lot of the workforce is immigrants from other countries, especially, from Mexico and other places down south. A lot of these immigrants that are coming over, there is a mix of both illegal and legal. And, this is on my personal preference. I would love for people to come in the country. Don't get me wrong. I think that America is a great country. It has a lot of freedom, and it gives people a ton of freedom to work on businesses and get jobs. But, I think it comes to a point where we just need people to come in legally, because sure, it's incredibly difficult to come in the country legally, but like I think that if you're coming in illegally, it can also make it very difficult for, the country to accept that. Same thing
Oh
with
yeah,
you see
I
with
agree.
Florida. Yeah,
I,
so
yeah,
if there was more people, coming in legally, and I know it's tough to say that, like, oh, just come in legally, just do that, just come in legal. It doesn't work like that. It's not that simple.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's important, because if I think America at this standpoint is, we see a ton of people from other countries entering the country illegally. It's making us at a point where we have to kind of make a stance. We have to either make a stance of let's just allow it, or let's make sure our security is still stable. So I think
right.
that's where most states, most countries are at, with doing that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like me as a Mexican, I don't think that we should allow every Mexican to come to the U.S. because
Yeah.
then hello cartel 2.0.
Mm.
But yeah, I definitely don't, because now I'll honestly say, and I feel like I can say it. I mean, we Mexicans, we're not as clean as we look. I know there's definitely some honest people. I don't know why, but I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, why can't we allow them to come in, do a background check, like have Mexico let us do a background check on whether, like, if they have any criminal record or something like that. Like, all right, you're gonna enter this country, go through this checkpoint, let's do a background check and see how good you were in Mexico. Oh, you have a felony over there? Yeah, no, you can't come in here, bro.
Mm.
Like, you can't. Or hey, you are such and such. Nope, you can't. Or hey, you have this outstanding warrant. You can't come in here.
Mm-hmm.
Or hey, you're a registered pedophile, can't come in here.
Yeah.
Or hey, you've been, with narcotics, definitely not. So I feel like I think that's something that they can implement that can definitely help, because I want to say that America. I'm actually even thinking about leaving. Me and my brother were actually talking about this the other day. Well, he brought it up. He's thinking about. He was like, "Dude, I'm thinking about leaving it because honestly, we even feel like the economy might be going down, because I don't know if you
Oh.
know this, but
Mm-hmm.
China, Saudi Arabia,
Iran.
Russia, they're changing currency, so they're not going to be
Yep.
using the U.S. dollar anymore.
Yep.
And I don't know if you know this, but do you know how Rome fell?
No, tell me.
So it wasn't because of Julius Caesar; it was because of currency.
Mm.
So the currency that Rome had was the main currency for the whole world. So as soon as that started to devaluate, just like Joe Biden right now, he keeps printing out money, keeps printing out money. So that means the value of the dollar goes down because there's more of it.
Mm.
As there's less of it, obviously the value of it goes up. So because he keeps printing and printing and printing and printing more money, and because we keep taxing, and we're giving out to useless things, like I found out not that long ago that apparently if you're trans in California, and I think in San Francisco, yeah, in San Francisco specifically, they give you money just for being trans.
Hmm.
To me, that's a waste of money. To me, that's a waste of money. Like, what? Just because you're trans, you're getting money. Or I know a lot of people may not agree with this, but homeless people, we're giving money to homeless people now. I obviously get it. We need to get them up there. But I want to say at least 80% of them are is because of drugs, or it's because they probably have a criminal record, or because they weren't paying. I want to say it's those two major things, like criminal record, or it's because they use a lot of drugs. So I'm like thinking like, why are we giving money to them? Like I feel like they should just work. Now that's just my opinion. I think they should just work, to get any job possible. Hard labor, because they'll hire you on the spot anywhere, construction, landscaping, at a oil rig, at a factory. They pay good too. I've seen them. I have people who come in. I had a guy who works at an oil pit. He's making 4,000 bi-weekly. That's a lot of
Wow.
money.
Yeah.
So he's bringing in possibly 8 to 10 grand a month. So to me, dude, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Eight to $10,000 a month. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then I know construction workers, they get paid weekly, like two to $3,000, or plumbing, or you can even find things to do online and get certified. And there's just ways on how to work, and it's just some people don't want to do it. So I feel like they're taxing a lot of things because they're implementing a lot of things that we don't need, that we don't need. And I feel like that's one of the biggest unnecessary things. That why are we just giving money just for them being that? And I'm not just targeting them just because they're trans, but I just seen it and I'm like, dang. Come to think of it, what else are we putting a lot of taxpayer things and nothing's happening, and like it's not working. So I feel like that's one of the leading causes. And then we were thinking about moving to El Salvador. I don't know if you noticed, but it was literally the number one most dangerous countries you can
Yeah.
tour or live because of the amount of gang violence. The new president came in and he decided that, you know what, we're gonna get rid of them and we're gonna treat them like shit. So they're literally like, I think it's like 40, 80 people in one cell.
Wow.
Like they're just literally touching each other, and they just have shorts and they don't have a shirt, they don't have shoes or anything. They're just covering just their male part, and that's it. And he's like, and then other countries are like, well, what about their rights? He's like, they lost their rights once they started to murder, they started to rape, they started to steal, they started to corrupt this nation, and a lot of people were against it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, if you keep doing this," and I was like, "Well, what are you guys gonna do? This is our country." He's like, "You guys didn't care about us when we were facing these problems and when we were asking for help. None of you came over and helped us." He's like, "Now we're gonna fix it, and now it's literally one of the most safest places in the world right now. It's thriving, and then now they switched their currency as well to Bitcoin. So now anybody can do it. And I don't know if you know this for Dubai, but they don't tax over there in Dubai. Obviously, if you're gonna buy something like like regular, like a candy bar or something like that, they're gonna tax something here and there. But over there, they're not gonna be taxing you for having a business or taxing you for property tax. They're not doing that. They're just removing all that taxation, and he wants their citizens to spend money. So then now businesses can come in, international businesses can come in, and then he's opening up an airport as well, and he's gonna make it the biggest airport in the Pacific Ocean, which is great. So they're doing all these great things, and me and my brother were talking about it. If they have Bitcoin currency, that they're gonna thrive as an economy. And now this is just me as a Christian believer, but I feel like as when you put God, when like a specific leader puts God in his hands for the nation, I feel like they're gonna start thriving because that he and I want to say some sort of like authority or some sort of belief, because Dubai is Muslims, is
Yeah.
Muslim restricted, and you can literally leave the leave your car's door open. And I'm not talking about just some Honda Civic.
It's
I'm
true.
talking about a Lamborghini. I'm
Mhm.
talking about an Aventador. I'm talking about a Bugatti. I'm talking about a BMW, a Mercedes. They can leave their car open in the door. Nobody will steal it because they have a certain sort of principle. And I
Mhm.
feel like it was the same thing with America, where they had a sort of a role. They're like, okay, you do this, you do that, and you work your way through here, here, and there, and then you'll have a system that works. And I feel like after that, when everybody, they're like they started being independent, they started putting in these rules where like, oh, I can take half of his stuff. All right, cool. I'm gonna divorce him. Just go for his money and take it. And I'm not just saying that I'm not just saying that women just do that. I know there's a lot of men out there that do that as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you have a structure based on certain beliefs, I feel like that nation can thrive. And El Salvador is and Dubai are two major examples of it.
Mhm.
So um, I think that they can definitely. I think the U.S. can thrive, but I feel like now with all this liberty and like I feel like they're taking freedom and opening doors to nonsense.
Mhm.
So like one of the things is um, homosexuality. Um, like let's say, oh, I was born this certain way. I don't think anybody's born a certain way. I think you obviously grow to the person you're gonna become. So I say that in any aspect. Just like saying champions aren't born, they're made. You're not just born to be successful. You can be born into like, I do want to say you can be born into a certain class. So whether you're poor, rich, or,
Yeah.
in the middle class, that I do want to say, yeah, you're born into that. Or, what type of ethnicity you are, that you're born into. But I want to say your life choices, that's definitely you're not born into. Because if you say, oh, I was born this way, then you're going to be opening the doors to a lot of other things like, oh, well, I was born a killer. I like to kill. It's in my DNA. You know, then you're opening doors to all those other things, and then we're going to have to accept the murders and felonies and stuff like that. So I think that there should be a line where we should draw a line in some sort of things. And I want to say America is heading down a path that I just simply can't follow, where there's just a lot of things. One of the things here, big in Texas, is they're limiting the guns that we want to have. And I want to say that one of the reasons that our ancestors, like George Washington and all those guys, Benjamin Franklin, they moved away from Great Britain because they were taxing them, and they were like, oh well, if you don't want to pay tax, okay, we'll just forcefully come in and take whatever you have without a warrant. Oh, you have nothing to defend yourself because by law you can't have a sword, you can't have a gun. But once you have that protection where it's like, hey, can I see a warrant? You don't have a warrant? Okay, well I have the right to defend myself. I have a right to a gun because it's to fight tyranny. So that I think that plays a big part, and I feel like there's a guy, you know, behind the curtains being a tyrant here in America, and we can't see it because we're focused on, or we're just not focused, but we're distracted by phones, by political parties like the LGBTQ, the Republicans, the Democrats. So I feel like we're blinded by those parties, and we're focused so much on that attention that we're not noticing some of the things. And I don't even know if you know this, but Congress passes down laws that we don't even know. And there's a website, you can search it up, Congress passing down laws. And there's some law that gets passed down and we don't even know about, which is crazy to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I think in today's society, and our future holds a lot of things, good and bad. There's a lot of bad things, and I think there's also a potential of a lot of good things to happen. With the country and with the United States, most of our viewers here are from the United States. I think that we are in a standpoint where we are just trying to resolve social issues that are kind of unsolvable. If we focus, I mean, everyone says, we saw a lot of movements, involved with trying to get rid of racism. And you have to realize this is something that I want to make clear to everyone. No matter what country, no matter what place in the world you are in, there is going to be negative things. And racism is going to be one of them. And it's unfortunate. I wish if I could snap my fingers and get rid of racism and all these terrible things, I would. But I think, in a country with 356 million people or whatever the crazy number is, our population, it is so incredibly hard to just get rid of a social issue. And if you're looking around, racism is just an example. You can look at tons of other things, sexism and all these other things. It's
100%.
it's like it's almost impossible to get rid of these things because there's so many people with so many different opinions, so many different mindsets. It's really hard to get rid of it. And don't get me wrong, I agree. I think that racism is a terrible thing. I think that there are terrible things that happen in this world. And again, I wish we could get rid of them, but we can't. We can't necessarily just get rid of the problems and the situations that we're having and experiencing in society. So, with our country, and I get this is political, but you know, it's it's a lot of just trying to just it's like trying to like take the whole ocean and just like take it in a bucket. You can't. It's like there's so much
Yeah,
water, there's
yeah.
so much of a just so much stuff. It's like you can't just get rid of it all. So
Yeah.
I think this country, I think the best thing, and I'm not the president of the United States. I'm not 80 years old. I'm not incredibly wise or anything. But from my opinion and from someone who's not favored towards either political party, I think that the country just needs to make moves not towards specific parties such as certain races, certain ethnicities and stuff, but I think that we just need to make decisions specifically for the population, for the human rights of this country. That's the best thing I would say because we're all, no matter what you look like, we're all people. We're all humans. We all are on this planet. We're born and then we die. And that's our whole entire life. And we really need to just kind of realize that. And if we're making moves and starting to make decisions specifically for human rights, specifically for our population, and not specific groups, I think we can see a ton of improvement and a ton of agreement. No matter what, and we see this in society, political parties are always going to argue. There's always going to be two political parties. This is why you've never seen an independent president. It's like incredibly, incredibly rare for an independent president to win or a different party president. You know, we're in a society where things are so diverse. You have Democrat, Republican, you have all these different just arguments against each other, different sides. And I think a peaceful a world, a utopia, would be a day and age where we see just everyone come together as one and just realize that we're all people on this planet. We're all going through the same trials and tribulations, and if this country realizes that, we can solve many problems. There's evil in this world. We see Russia, going into war with Ukraine for pretty much no reason. We see, China, who's another country who is possibly going to go to war again or go to war with Taiwan and other countries as well. We see France, who's actually siding with China more now. We see all these other countries breaking, and I'm sorry to say, but I think that our generation, my generation, and the upcoming generations are the ones to solve this problem. I think that we're in a mess that the future generations have to solve. And coming out of, a pandemic, COVID, where our education system has flawed from this, it's going to be very difficult. But I think that there's hope. Again, I said there's very good things. There's good and the bad. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of exciting events. There's new innovations. There's new discoveries, new adventures. Possibly getting to Mars is one of them. Could you imagine that? A new conquered planet by the human species. Could you imagine how amazing that would be, how cool that would be, there's still a lot of good things to happen. But I think that we need to have hope, and we just need to just come together. I mean, there's always going to be conflict. We just need to realize that conflict is almost unavoidable. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think you're super right about that. That, like we're super diverse, and I feel like whenever when people work together, they definitely work a lot better, and the economy rises. And yeah, you're totally right about that. One of the cool things, just like a little cool story. I'm a brief summary on the Bible. There was like this group of people who were building a tower, and they basically wanted to get to heaven, and they were actually getting up there. They were getting super high up, but obviously back then, they didn't know anything about space or how that works, and they can lose the oxygen and all that stuff. So God was all like, okay, well, I can't let them keep going, because that's gonna happen. And He basically just said change languages. So that's how languages came about. Some were speaking French, some were speaking Spanish, others were speaking different languages. They couldn't understand each other. So when they were trying to work, they couldn't understand each other or their handwriting or anything like that. It just magically just happened. So and that kind of ties to the Democrats versus the Republicans when they're split. When there isn't a full party that works together, then it's a more difficult, because I get it, because I came from California, came over to Texas, and when I tell people that, they're like ugh, like oh, like I'm all like, bro, I'm coming over here because I'm getting away from it.
Yeah.
But I get it. They're afraid that because we're coming here, we're gonna make it into a 2.0
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. But some of them don't really know why prices went up on Texas, is because now there's more people, because the housing market here in Texas is super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
A house in Cali, like my house, 2,000 something square foot, 3 bedroom, with an office. I'm in the office. It's like 2,200 something square foot, $300,000 here in Texas. In California, that's $1 million. So that's the gap. That's the huge
Yeah.
gap. So what people don't realize is that the reason why the pricing was so low was, one, weather. Weather's a big one. Two would be the prospects, the amount of customers. If there's a little bit of customers, then they're gonna devalue it. If there's a lot of customers, well, they're like, well, I already know somebody's gonna pay for it. Someone's gonna pay for a $2 million house. So I'm a leasing agent. So the way it works is right now my 2 bedrooms, they're super expensive, like
Mm-hmm.
above market. I want to say they're above market. They're not in what it should be when I came in. When I came in, they were 15. They were like 1,500, and now they skyrocketed to 18. So a lot of people, and not that long ago, Texans weren't paying for a 2 bedroom. They weren't paying for a 15. They were paying for like 1,100. So you can see just a huge gap. So I want to say that Texas is falling behind on the economic side. That people were gaining this little bit of money an hour, but now they're starting to catch up a little bit, and now a lot of more people are making money. So then, guess what? Now they're starting to rise the prices even more. So it's not really that part. So yeah, it's diversity. And some people are like, oh well, he's telling me that because they're coming over, that the prices are rising up. So I want to blame them. But the real economic side, the real number side, where people are like, well, no, it's because we're having more customers.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So have you ever seen the a little clip of a homeless guy in like a fair, and like he's talking about like all these political
I think
parties,
so, yeah.
and yeah, and he's talking about how the how is it, you guys want to know Russia's strategy on how to overtake a nation, because they've done it like at least 4 times already. Was like when they separate the people with different parties, and he's like, just like the Democrats and the Republicans. He's like, y'all don't see it, but it's one party, and they're leading both of the parties away from you, so that you don't actually look at the correct party that's really controlling every single thing around you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens, I think, in the background. There's a lot of stuff that we're focused on that we shouldn't really be focused on, that we're kind of just having a blind eye to it. And it's difficult because in a society where we have, just been stuck with the same system for such a long time, using the same, constitution and everything, it can make it easier to just kind of be in that system and just follow that system and not really realize or see anything out of the ordinary with it. So, I think that there's a lot of stuff that happens in the background, and I think, if you look at it even out of a political spectrum, a political ideology, for example, we see a ton of people that say it's not even worth it to work out. It's not even worth it to focus on yourself. You shouldn't even be you're trying too hard. You shouldn't have all these goals and ambitions. Work a 9 to 5, just get a good job, create a family, blah 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 blah. Everyone's stuck with that ideology because most of our parents, most of the older generations now are used to that. That's how they were grown up. That's how they were taught. And I think, in a future where everything is going digital, we see AI going crazy, like so many things coming out with AI and everything. It's
Real
difficult
quick, do you think
because
that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's both. I think it's a double-edged sword. I think AI is going to take a ton of jobs and take a ton of opportunity from people and
Right.
skills, but I do think that it can help us reach new things, discover new things. Maybe if we made a strong enough AI, it could literally solve like medical diagnostics and create like cures for stuff. I think it's both. I think it's bad and good. I think that it needs control, and I think it might need I think Elon Musk says this a lot. He says that I think it needs a governmental agency, or just maybe not a governmental agency, but maybe an independent organization, or some governing body to just kind of absorb it and make sure that it's not going loose and going haywire.
I thought he said he that we shouldn't do an AI. He
Yeah,
I,
he's
I think
against
he said
AI. I'm pretty sure
he's against AI. Yeah.
yeah, I think he said that we just need to have someone have control over it. If AI is just like anyone can have AI. I mean, you can go to AI right now. ChatGPT is completely free. You can search it up on Google and boom, you got all this information that's like literally stronger than Google, and it can give you like legit like crazy answers and stuff. But I think that it needs some kind of control, because if we have people using AI to create like songs, like have you seen this, like there's like Drake songs coming out that are literally better than Drake, like the rapper, like AI is making
Yeah.
songs better than him and better than these artists, like. And I recently heard Elon Musk's ex-wife is using AI and has made a deal with AI that her fans, I don't know who the person's name is, you guys can figure it out, but the her fans, she said that I will make a royalty deal. I will make a contract with you if you make AI of my voice and create songs with it, as I can make profit from it and you can as well. So she's pretty much saying, fans, make me a ton of songs. We use my voice, use my style and everything, and let me get a cut of it, and you guys get a majority of the cut as well. So she's using AI to help, or to kind of help her business and create like all these different songs, and have people have freedom to like create stuff using her style, using her voice. It's nuts. I think AI is it's going to be the next big thing. And I've talked with many people, many people at my school who have ambitions to work in IT and tech, are seeing their jobs and their skill sets disappear because AI is taking it over, and now they don't know what to do. It's a difficult point that we're in. I think it's good and bad. I think it needs control completely.
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's damn. That's pretty smart on her side, though. That's a good that's smart on her side. I'll give her props to that. What was I gonna say about AI? Oh, I was gonna have something. Oh yeah, I'm just thinking about this. Who's smarter then, the AI or the guy who creates the AI? Because how does he? how does he program it to know how to solve the problem?
I'm not sure. I mean, you could it looks back to the same thing as like, Google or the computer, which one's smarter. And if you're looking at AI and the creator of AI, the person who created AI has the mindset and the fundamentals to create the AI, right? And it can code it to scan all this stuff. I think that the AI is smarter because the person coded the AI and has experience with coding and
Right.
creating that AI, but it doesn't have experience with, let's say, painting. Let's say, the knowledge of painting, the knowledge of mathematics, the knowledge of all these other things. So since the person created AI has this huge, huge scan of just every single skill set, every single piece of knowledge on the internet. I would say it's smarter.
Right.
So,
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Pretty cool. But yeah, no, AI. Oof. That yeah, to
it's
me it's like
dangerous.
I don't feel. I hope not. I hope I'm old and wrinkly and I'm about to die and I'm like, well, I don't gotta live through this. So y'all, good luck.
Yeah, that's
But
us.
yeah, I really hope not in my time. I don't know, man. I seen that Will Smith movie and I don't know. Ever since that day, I'm like, nope, never again.
Yeah,
We shouldn't be doing
yeah,
that, man.
yeah. There's a future coming. I think in the next 10 to 12 years, we're gonna see some crazy stuff go down, like huge
Yeah.
events, huge things happening. Um, you know, I hate to
I
say,
think they should limit it. I think they should limit the AI
yeah, I agree. That's what
to
I'm
be
saying with
safe.
like a governing body to just kind of limit it to the whole population.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it like let's say I don't know, man, a robot, conversing like if we get the AI to be like, hey, make me a robot,
Hmm.
like it should be like a sub. It's just so it can go so wrong in so many ways
Yeah.
that if we leave it to we leave it to hands to somebody who's not who doesn't have the right mindset for the people.
Hmm.
I think it should be like a kind of like a kind of we should have it like as a weapon, kind of to where the whoever the owner is, they should have full control of the AI, whether it's like I don't know how they would make it, whether if it's in a phone or if it's in a or if it's an actual robot, we should limit it to where hey, I have full access and I don't want you to have full access at all.
Hmm.
So I feel like we should have it somehow like that. But I can see AI being definitely successful in helping out a lot of the first
Oh
world
yeah.
problems that we have.
I
So yeah.
Yeah, I think AI can give us, the solutions to many problems that we have. If we have, and then we can use those solutions and put those into action. And eventually you could see robots doing that, but I don't really feel good about robots. I think if it's an AI system, it might be a little bit more control because the robot's not going to be running and walking and moving and taking action,
They can do they can do as much damage from just being in a computer. Because think about it. Have
I
you ever seen
guess.
Age of Ultron and Avengers?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember how he basically made the guy and he literally just drove in the internet and he was getting people's files without him even being physical. He was
Mm.
just being in the screen and he was just traveling through like internet and all that stuff. And he can get access to like nuclear codes.
Mm.
He can literally like just set off a whole nuclear war. So I
Jeez.
don't know, like that's what I'm saying. Like AI opens doors to a lot of opportunity, but I feel like, you gotta get the good with the bad. I feel like
Yeah.
if you ever get the good, there's always gonna be something bad that comes with it. Because good and bad are always gonna be right there with you. So
Yeah.
I feel like if you like I said previously, if you open the door to that, you're gonna open the door to this as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, when you open the door, be ready to open, 50 more that you don't know what's gonna,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's
happen.
true. It's
So,
true. Yeah, I think it's something we really have to watch out. I think it's something we've created and we don't even understand it. Like we've created something that we don't fully understand what it's capable of. So I think it can be dangerous. It can truly shake things up, positive and negatively. And like I said, I think we just need I would say, a group of individuals, not just one person, because if just one person is in control, like look how much
Yeah.
power they have. So I think we would need a group of people to kind of try and control it and maintain it and make sure it's in the right hands.
Oh yeah. Did you ever hear that the world reset itself like 4 times?
No.
Like there was like think about it, like the pyramids, right? The pyramids, you know how it's like nicely, like everything about it is perfect down to the teeth. Like
Hmm.
the way how, how did they do it if they didn't have these tools or that tools? How did they do it? How do we know that, they maybe had an AI? Maybe they had AIs, like Utopia, all these little things like Atlantis and stuff like that, where they had it was like beautiful structure, and then out of nowhere it was just gone out of the face of the earth. What
Hmm.
if we don't know that the end of the world was happening and they escaped and now they're hidden somewhere and they seen society come again and we don't even know it, or maybe they did die, because of, environmental, not being habitable, or whatever the case may be. I really do think the world got resetted like 4 different times. I
I'm
really do
not
believe that.
sure. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure. I don't think that. I think I've heard many people say about the pyramids and how was it invented? How was this? How it had to be perfect. Everything had to be perfect to the last centimeter. And I don't have the answer. I don't think we'll ever really have the answer for that. Maybe someday in the future, but I'm not sure about a whole reset because I think there would have to be a lot of stuff that would have to happen for
Oh
that to
yeah.
happen. So I'm not sure, but there's a lot of information out there that you know that could be true, and I think there's a lot of stuff that's under our noses that we don't even know about 100%. There's stuff, there's files, in the government that we don't even have, that we don't even understand, and there's stuff that we don't even know about. So, and I think it's gonna stay that way for a very long time. I don't think we'll
Oh yeah.
we'll know about the
100%.
true aspects of the world. But, I think that's the world we live in.
Yeah. Do you think it would be good to know the secrets of the government, like Area 51 type thing? Like, do you want to know that there's an alien that has like a ship that can destroy the whole planet? Like I feel like sometimes it's good not to know things because knowledge is a
Yeah,
curse. So
yeah,
like let's say the sea, right? Like we haven't even discovered
yeah,
how
anything.
much have we discovered the ocean? Like 10,
I'm
maybe
pretty
even
sure
less,
9%. I'm pretty sure. Let me
9%,
see.
which is crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know about.
Because to me that's crazy, man. We haven't even explored half, not even a quarter
Yeah,
of the ocean, and who
according
knows what's out
to according to the Ocean Service NOAA.gov, currently less than 10% of the global ocean is mapped using modern sonar technology. For the ocean and coastal waters of the United States, only about 35% has been mapped with modern methods. So less
there.
than
That's
10%. So
crazy.
about 5%, which is nuts.
Dang.
That's But yeah, I mean there's a lot of ocean on this planet, so it's tough. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean at the end of the day, overall, I think there's gonna be a lot of stuff that we will never find out. And I do think it's kind of a good thing. Like if it's a good thing and a bad thing, like you said, if there was aliens on the planet or something, and we don't know about that, and the government or someone's hiding that from us or something, then I think the main reason they're doing that is because of religions. I think religions would kind of go crazy and be like, because it's in their belief, and many religions' beliefs, that we are the only things that have been created, and that we are ones that God has focus on. But
Yeah.
if aliens did exist, then boom, that whole thing is gone. And I think that people would be scared, and it would just cause a lot of havoc That's why people are scared.
Yeah.
That's why if there was aliens, if there is aliens and they're hiding it or something, then I think that they're hiding it for specific reasons to control and make sure that not everyone is freaking out and going crazy and running through the streets and burning buildings and everything like that. So, I think a limited knowledge is somewhat okay. Would I like to know about everything about the world? Sure, but I think that that's something kind of beautiful with it, because if we knew the ending, like I think I've seen this in a show. I think it might have been Parks and Recreation, and I know it's a funny show, but it's a great point. It says that what if you just went to a movie, right? You're about to go to the movie, and then the person sitting next to you just says, "Oh, did you know that guy dies like 2 minutes, like at the very end, like he dies and all this happens, and right before you see the movie, trailers are going, and the person just spoiled the whole movie for you." I think that's what makes life beautiful, is just experiencing, everything's with mystery. Just kind of experience everything without knowing what's going to happen, without knowing the future immediately. So I think that's why.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is a perfect example.
Hmm.
That is a perfect example. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to know how I die, because then if it's like, oh, you died in a car, and now I'm scared to get in my car.
Yeah, I'm not going to hop in my car ever
Like,
again.
I love
Exactly.
driving, man. Like,
Yeah. So, yeah, I think there's limited beliefs that we have. But overall, man, I think that there's a lot of stuff that happens in this world that we're never going to know, and I think we'll have to live with that. But Danny, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on, man, and having this conversation with you. To our audience, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. I think we just got. I said this is episode 19. Yeah, I think so. Tomorrow, or possibly sometime this week, we will have episode 20, and I'm excited for that. And we will be approaching episode 50, and then 100, and then 1,000, and then 10,000. I'm missing, but we'll see. We'll see. But it's been a pleasure. Danny, any last message for the people here?
ooh, yes. That thing about time, like, there's no talent is worthless without hard work. By
Mm-hmm.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
Cristiano Ronaldo said that, talent is worthless without hard work.
Yeah, I totally agree. You need to put an effort. If you have talent and you actually just waste that talent, then what's the point? But my final message to people here is, just kind of, I would say, make your own opinions for things. Kind of observe this environment, observe the world around you, and make your opinions on certain things. And don't let certain media outlets or certain things control your ideology. Use reasoning and just kind of think for yourself and see if this is actually something I believe in or not. But to the people, yeah, I just keep grinding, keep focusing, keep working hard, focus on yourself, and you only live once. Just do everything you can. But yeah, to the people, thank you guys so much for listening or watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.